All right. So as that's loading up, I just want to aloha and welcome everybody. Kim, could you let me know if we're live? Awesome. Thank you. And we'll also be recording this meeting so that it can live forever on our YouTube page. So for everyone who isn't able to make it today, they're able to watch it later. To officially start us off, aloha, good morning. My name is Haylin Chock. I'm the Outreach Specialist for Kauai Invasive Species Committee. Today we're going to be talking about 20 years of KISC being in operation and all of our success stories over the years. I'd like to introduce our project manager, Tiffani Keanini, who will be presenting with us today, and also Kim Rogers, who is our Rapid Ohia Death Outreach Specialist. So just a few housekeeping rules I have for everyone. We do have a poll to start us off, so I will be launching that. And just if you have any questions or any comments of encouragement, please drop it in the chat. Otherwise, once we get to the end, we will have a moment for Q&A, so you can show us your beautiful faces and also turn on your microphones if you'd like to raise your hand and ask questions at the end. So before we just get started, I'm going to go ahead and launch our first poll, which is going to ask everyone where they're joining us from. All right. So the poll is live, so if you could just take a moment to let us know where you're calling in from. All right, I see Kauai, Hawaii Island, also Oahu. All right, awesome. Mahalo everybody for participating in that one. And then I also have one more. So this one is just about how you heard about KISC or HISAM or our webinar that we have today. So how did you hear about us? Awesome. So we got social media, newsletter.
Haylin, it didn't pop up for me yet.
Oh.
Are you getting responses coming in?
Yeah, I'm getting responses.
Then it must be my end. Keep going.
All good. It's okay. I know you know about KISC. Okay, awesome. Thank you for participating, everybody. And let's just close this up. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce Tiffani Keanini. She is our project manager for Kauai Invasive Species Committee. And for those of you who do know, or if you don't know and you're joining us on Facebook, Kauai Invasive Species Committee is a nonprofit organization that is a project under our CUH and PCSU. We serve as a gap-filling position that focuses on early detection and rapid response of invasive and incipient species. And we're going to talk about all of our success stories over the last couple of years. So Tiffani, take it away. And
Thanks. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
The correct screen. All right. Well, thank you, Haylin. I'll just jump into it. KISC was formed in 2002 with the intent to supplement existing programs while serving a gap-filling role on Kauai, assisting in the coordination of partnerships efforts island-wide on a variety of science-driven management strategies. So over the last 2 decades, the KISC team has worked towards various goals set forth by our mission. The success stories we are sharing today were accomplished because of everyone that formed, worked with, partnered with, or supported KISC throughout the last 2 decades. And I want to recognize and give a shout out to everyone that helped make these success stories possible. So thank you. As Haylin mentioned, KISC is a project with the Pacific Cooperative Studies Unit at the University of Hawaii, working to prevent, control the most threatening invasive species from becoming established or widespread on Kauai. in order to preserve Kauai's native biodiversity and minimize ecological, agricultural, or cultural impacts. And we do this with early detection surveys across the island, rapid response to new plant and animal invasions. We control select target species. We have a pretty large community awareness and educational programs, and everything's with partnerships because we are a gap-filling entity. So invasive plants, animals, insects, and pathogens are able to spread across Kauai's landowner boundaries and overlap jurisdictions. KISC is pretty uniquely positioned to address this. Our operations are species-based, not area-based, as you can see in the map of all of our activities over the last 20 years. Our team, ranging between 2 to 15 employees, depending on the year, works across the island on both private and public land to detect the new invasive species early and control target species before they make a lasting impact. The majority of KISC work is focused on preventing selected species from becoming widespread. We prioritize species that are recognized as having the greatest potential to impact native biodiversity and agriculture, and where the limited resources are most likely to be successful. To help reach the goal of eliminating incipient invasive plant species before they become beyond control, we need to determine which plants to target with the thousands of non-native species in Hawaii, which plants are going to be new to the island, not widespread beyond eradication, and are at high risk of becoming invasive and making that lasting impact. And we do this with our plant early detection program, which systematically inventories, maps, and evaluates potential impacts of early invaders island-wide, and we prioritize these species for control and targets. You can find the 42 species assessments that are listed here and the distribution data on 62 species of interest on our website. I believe Haylin will drop a link for that if you wanted the direct link. So some of our early detection species will then become our target species. And one of KISC's main goal is long-term control and eradication of island-wide select target species, To name some of them, of our founding species, we have ivy gourd, giant reed, false kava, and longthorn kiawe. The other ones, Barbados gooseberry, kudzu, and juncus up at the top, are new ones. So working towards the goal of the long-term goal of island-wide eradications, we have to first successfully eliminate the species from the individual work sites that we detect them at. We call this extirpated, or they're eradicated, the target species from the individual work site. Out of the 169 work sites that we have grafted here today, we have successfully extirpated or eliminated the target species from 70 sites. And 22 sites are in the monitoring stage, meaning we haven't found any of the plants for a while and we're just monitoring them annually to ensure successful elimination. So all the red colors in the graph, so more than half of KISC's plant sites, show successful site eradication. I should note that depending on the size depending on the site and the species, the sites range from less than an acre to over 100 acres. Our long-term goal of all of our target plant species is island-wide eradication, of course. We have two that we can highlight here. One successful island-wide eradication that KISC assisted with was fireweed. You can see that on the right of your screen. It's a small herb that's toxic to cattle and livestock. It's found on other Hawaiian islands. It was introduced accidentally to Kauai in 1990, and this weed was finally eradicated from the 2 known locations in 2006 in partnership with Hawaii Department of Agriculture. Another example is island-wide eradication is pampas grass. Pampas grass was eradicated from Kauai of the 3 known locations. The pictures here you can see on the top is a location up in Kokee, and another one is a cultivated one in town. Should step back and say that all of these projects have partners that we're working with, and they're listed below on the bottom of each one of these slides. So for the pampas grass, we did work with Division of Forestry and Wildlife, as well as Kokee Resource Conservation Program. Stepping away from eradication to containment, because containment is successful for some species. Myconias are founding and #1 plant species because of its demonstrated ability to form these monotypic stands across the Hawaii and forested watersheds. So initial surveys completed before and during KISC formation in 2001 and 2002, they found 17 mature plants. These were treated in the area, but over the next 20 years, KISC and partners have completed over 26,000 acres have been surveyed, controlled 42 mature plants, and about 12,000 immature plants. This effort has ensured that Myconia is still only found within the Wailua watershed area. So over the last 20 years, KISC has successfully managed to keep it contained to about 7,700 acres and out of our priority watersheds. 7,700 acres may seem like a large area, but the infestation is defined as about 1,300 meter buffer around all known mature trees. So as you can see in the red outline on this slide, all of the ones that we did detect and treat were much more condensed inside. So all of the population densities within this infestation area are very low. Every single Myconia plant that the KISC team detects by aerial survey or ground survey is treated. Moving on from plants to pests. The next example warranted a large partner-wide celebration with Hawaii Department of Agriculture, Division of Forestry and Wildlife, USDA, CTAR, County of Kauai, Garden Island, Resource Conservation and Development, and multiple private partners. This is an example of successfully filling gaps in the multi-agency effort to eradicate Kauai's only natural area coqui frog infestation. The coqui population persisted for about 10 years and grew to infest 22 acres within a 79-acre valley located in Lawai, Kauai. Through habitat modification, spraying of citric acid, and monitoring, KISC, along with the multiple partners, they are listed below, successfully eradicated the population in 2012, declaring Kauai officially coqui-free. This full project took 1,500 person-hours, 15,000 person-hours, 15,000 gallons of citric acid, and the crew surveyed more than 10,000 acres. This is a very large project and warranted coqui-free party in 2012. Unfortunately, despite statewide biosecurity efforts, coqui frogs continue to evade port detection and invade Kauai. KISC continues to function as our island-wide rapid response and control team to prevent the reestablishment of coqui frogs on Kauai. Since 2012, KISC, in partnership and assistance with Hawaii Department of Agriculture, we've successfully responded to and controlled 48 coqui frog introductions, continually keeping Kauai coqui-free. The community has been essential in keeping Kauai from reestablishing, or coqui from reestablishing on Kauai by quickly reporting any calling frogs. Sometimes there'll be one calling frog and we'll have multiple communities call in to let us know that it's there. And we all wouldn't not be successful in our work without the help and support of the Kauai community. KISC is also one of the primary responders for mongoose sightings on Kauai. This brings us to another example of island-wide early detection and rapid response. After an extensive trapping effort, our landowners, sorry, I lost my spot. Here we go. After an extensive trapping effort across landowners and jurisdiction, KISC captured the first live mongoose in May 2012. Coordinated response efforts with KISC and H2OA led to the second and third capture of mongoose in 2012 and 2016 at Kauai ports. Again, we would not be successful in the establishment of mongoose on Kauai without the Kauai community, specifically the wonderful employees at the airport and harbor. Next, we'll move on to our last pest example. This is little fire ant control and containment. The little fire ant, or LFA, was introduced to Kauai in the Kalihiwai area in 1999. The early detection efforts proved to be pretty difficult due to weather and terrain, but the early control efforts by Hawaii Department of Agriculture and a little bit by KISC did successfully limit the spread and contain the infestation to about 11 acres. In 2011, a multi-phase, multi-agency eradication plan was developed with the Hawaii Ant Lab, Hawaii Department of Agriculture, and KISC. So in partnership with H2A and HOW, KISC provided increased capacity on Kauai to continue the 3-phase treatment and monitoring effort over the next 10 years. The effort proved promising with the last LFA detected at the site in 2019. That same year, unfortunately, LFA was detected at a second site in Kilauea. The second site has been contained about 2.5 acres, with the treatment proving promising again. The last detection of LFA at the site in March 2020. While we can't declare these sites eradicated, we can say that treatment is proving successful and the multi-year, multi-agency effort has brought the population down to undetectable levels at these sites. This is a huge success, especially the Kalihiwai site. It took 20 years to bring it down to this level. We should be celebrating. Last and certainly not least, I can't give a presentation on KISC success stories without mentioning our success in developing new programs as new pests arrive, our extensive outreach and education programs throughout the last 20 years, and the collaborative partnerships that have successfully built capacity on Kauai. These will all lead to new success stories for us to share at our next anniversary. I'll quickly highlight one, and then Haylin will share some of these other ones with you. The first one I'll highlight is, since rapid ohia death was first detected on Kauai, the Kauai Rod response team implemented a variety of adaptive management strategies, including increased response capacity on Kauai. And this led to the dedicated rod team at KISC, which is pretty great. I believe we can find out more about rod management efforts on Kauai later this month, and Haylin will tell you a little bit more about that.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that presentation, Tiffani. Yes, I've been in this position for about a year now, and definitely outreach despite COVID has been a challenge, but we at KISC are still working on, being in contact with our community and serving you guys. So yeah, it is Hawaii Invasive Species Awareness Month, and there are a ton of other events, virtual events that are going on. One of those being Forest Friday. So that's going to come up at the end of the month on February 25th. So Forest Friday is one of those programs that KISC, in partnership with Kauai Forest Bird Recovery Project, has formulated to stay in touch with our community. So all last year, we were hosting webinars about different subjects in the conservation community, and we are continuing that again this year. So the next Forest Friday, that's going to be a part of HISAM, is titled, "Is Ohia Worth Saving? How Kauai is managing the spread of rapid ohia death on Kauai." I will be dropping the link in the chat if you'd like to register for that. And we also have Kim Rogers online today. Kim, would you like to share a little bit of words on our upcoming event that we have? Oh, you're on mute.
Why, yes, I am. Sure, we really enjoy this program because it gives us an opportunity to talk with the community, like you mentioned, and especially since COVID, we're not able to do as much of that in person. So this has been a really wonderful way for us to still stay in touch with our community, share information of what we're doing in the forest about ohia, rapid ohia death. And the other great thing about this project that I really like is we're partnering. Once again, you've heard that word again and again from Tiffani. We're partnering with the Kauai Forest Bird Recovery Project to produce these events. And we have all of our previous Forest Friday events recorded, and they are available at our KISC YouTube page. That quick URL is bit.ly, bit.ly/KISC videos, and you can find them all there.
Yes, I also put them in the chat. So if you'd like to copy and paste any of those links, you can also check those out. And then we also have other programs going on. So on top of doing our outreach best we can with schools and trying to do community outreach events, we also have the Pono Endorsement Program. And this is a statewide program that's in partnership with CGAPs as well as the Hawaii Invasive Species Council. So all of the ISCs on partnered islands, neighbor islands, also have a Pono endorsement program that we're working on revamping and bringing back to life. Then we're also going to be highlighting our Pono endorsed businesses for the rest of the year. If you'd like to learn more about our Kauai Pono endorsed businesses, they are listed on our website in the link in the chat. You can also find them on plantpono.com. And Pono endorsement program is really awesome. And I personally really love it because the mission is to endorse and promote green businesses that make the Plant Pono pledge while providing information and learning about cultivated plants that they might be either a nursery that might carry, or if you're a landscaper, you might be in touch with or might be working with. And they also practice all of our best management practices to minimize the spread of invasive species. So it's totally voluntary. All of these awesome businesses that we partner with have made that extra step to go ahead and take that responsibility to protect our island. And I have dropped links in our chat to our social medias. So if you'd like to follow up on either Forest Friday events or any other upcoming events, we will be having a 20th year anniversary campaign. So every month we're going to be looking back into the past of KISC and be interviewing people that have worked with KISC, who have been a part of our journey and part of our success stories. And that's all going to be found on our YouTube as well as our website and all of our social media platforms. So thank you for joining us today. And I'm going to open it up for questions. Do we have any questions or comments? You can go ahead, drop it in the chat, or if you would like, you can also show us your lovely faces and ask us directly. And I'm just going to check Facebook to see if there's any questions. Oh, here we go.
Hi.
Oh, hi, Spencer.
How's it going? Awesome presentation. I had no idea that like a lot of the things were on Kauai. Yeah, I'm on Big Island now. You guys all know. But just kind of curious on what is the status of the kudzu on island?
The status of kudzu, well, there was one that KRCP worked with up in Kokee, as you guys probably know that one. There are two other locations, one on the North Shore and one on the east side, and it's continually being treated because kudzu is so invasive. It does take a while, but we are, they're down to some of the sites, it's down to undetectable levels and we're just monitoring. But some of the sites, it's still continual treatment. I'm pretty confident that we will be able to say that we can eradicate it, in the coming years. It's not too widespread.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys want anything invasive on my next trip to Kauai, I can bring some stuff for you. I just got robbed on property just this year. Two of the bigger ohia trees on property got infected with it, and then just the very beginning of the year, like there's like a stronger like windstorm, or not windstorm, but it was windy one day, and then just like immediately after that, like slowly you just started seeing things turn yellow, and then before you knew it, like everything was just brown. Yeah,
That's hard.
And then I heard the update about the detection in the Alakai. So yeah, we'll try to be vigilant and report any odd sightings.
Thank you.
Thank you. We do have another question. This is from Nicole Ferguson. The question is, what was the biggest challenge with LFA sites?
With the first LFA site in Kalihiwai, the biggest challenge was the terrain. It has really steep areas. We had to get certified rappellers on staff and really developing a effective control method. And that was developed by Hawaii Ant Lab in 2011, I think is what I said. But that was one of the biggest challenges, because prior to that, the treatment wasn't as efficient as now. The treatment is more efficient. The other LFA sites that we have on island, I think the challenge is just getting everybody on board. And that's not really a challenge, because the Kauai community is amazing and everybody wants to help protect Kauai and stop the spread of especially little fire ant. Great question.
Thank you, Nicole, for that question. And we got another question. This is from Marianne. The question is, how were the koki frogs captured?
It depends which koki frogs you're talking about. Those individual introductions, I think 58 from 2012, a lot of those are hand captured. Our crew is amazing. I cannot do it. I've tried to go out with them before. I hear the koki frog. I point in one direction. They're like, no, Tiffany, it's actually over here. They like throw their calls. I can't do it. So our crew is amazing. And they can go out and hand capture them. Then we turn in those frogs to the Hawaii Department of Agriculture. And the other large site is they're treated with citric acid, and it kills the koki eggs before they can hatch. And that's how you do those larger site eradications and habitat modification, making it just harder for them to breed in the area.
Thank you. That was a great question. And any more questions from the audience? Just open it up now. I don't see any on Facebook. See, I have one from Spencer. He says, do you use 14? I'm sorry, I do not know how to say this word.
No, but we don't usually like to talk about what you use to treat little fire ant on Kauai, because I don't want the community to try to treat it themselves, because we want to ensure island-wide eradication of this species, and we want to be out there and make sure that it's being treated successfully, but we'll work with anybody to treat. So I can talk to you privately about that, Spencer, if you want to know, for Big Island, but we don't like to discuss how to treat it on Kauai, because we try to do it systematically with the community.
Yes. Thank you. And if anyone who's watching, the best way to look out for little fire ant is to survey. So we always encourage everybody to survey. And if you'd like to pick up a survey kit, they are available at all of our public libraries or even at our KISC base yard. So we recommend surveying your yard at least once a year, sending in your samples to us always if you're wondering if it is little fire ant or tropical fire ant. So if you're watching this and you're interested, you can go ahead and check those out. We do have another question. This is from Laura. Are green parakeets a species of concern?
Yes, I believe you're talking about the rose ring parakeets. There is a rose ring parakeet working group, which is comprised of federal, state, county, and private, university, I believe as well, individuals working to develop an island-wide long-term population suppression plan for rose ring parakeets on Kauai, and we will actually be sharing some of that information, I believe, in about a month or two. We're having a meeting and kind of discussing what the plan is moving forward, so stay tuned. But yes, it is a area of concern. It's hard for our agricultural, even your backyard growers. If you have a lychee tree or a mango tree, papaya trees, you know that they come after those.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for all the great questions, everybody. And we're coming about 11:05 right now. So final questions, last chance. If not, I will be stopping the live.